Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. We've been hearing a lot of rumors when it comes to Disney out there of them trying to, the House of Mouse actually trying to clean up some of the garbage and some of the crazy, insane people that they've had working for them for a very long time, quote unquote, the activists, because what the activists have tried to produce and what they have tried to put out there to the general population out there has failed miserably and has cost the Walt Disney Company billions of dollars. Well, of course, one of those little situations out there is none other than Star Wars, and of course, Lucasfilm out there ran by Kathleen Kennedy. Well, the rumors that we've been hearing for a little while about this now is that Burbank told Kathleen Kennedy and Disney Lucasfilm out there that they need to turn things around and go back to the things that actually sell. You know, I don't know, like the original characters out there that everybody knows and loves and not the abysmal stuff that we've all seen. I don't know, the i.e. Luke Skywalker. Well, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, after many of us expected Bo-Katan to completely and totally and become the Mandalorian going forward, it looks like things have changed out there, and this lines up with a lot of the kind of things that we've been hearing about the inside of Disney and how much it has changed. And of course, this comes from a none other than WDW Pro himself over at thatparkplace.com, giving us this scoop, letting us know what's going on about this, and considering WDW Pro's track record, this, boys and girls, may absolutely end up being 100% accurate, that the Dave Filoni movie will indeed be a strong hero's journey kind of story versus being all about wham and power and about them all coming in to save the day. So we're going to check out this article from thatparkplace.com, getting all of the juicy details and see exactly what this is said. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below. Does this give you any kind of hope for the future of Disney Star Wars out there? Or are you like so many of us out there who, until they erase the Disney sequel trilogy, none of this is going to change? And let you know, boys and girls, right now, before we get into this rumor mill, guess what? They're definitely not doing that in anytime soon, if ever. So don't expect that. But we're going to check out this article over here and see exactly what we've got. So thatparkplace.com. Major plot details allegedly revealed for Jon Favreau's upcoming The Mandalorian and Grogu film. Oh, dun dun dun. By our dear sweet John F. Trent. Some major plot details have allegedly been revealed for Jon Favreau's upcoming The Mandalorian and Grogu film, specifically regarding the fate of Katie Sackhoff's Bo-Katan Kurz character. Ooh, which don't get me wrong, I love Katie Sackhoff. I thought she was great as Starbuck in the Battlestar Galactica reboot, but literally, yeah, this has not been very good. Her character, not to mention we just talked about like the Mando season 3 and like none of it making sense and being completely out of order, and there's a lot of problems with current Disney Star Wars. So in a video uploaded to his YouTube account, Swooper WDW Pro revealed that a Lucasfilm and Disney insider revealed to him that a major plot point in the film has been changed in regards to Bo-Katan Kurz. Ah, that's right, because wham and power doesn't sell with general audiences when you write characters so crappily. He shared Bo-Katan's character may have been set up to take the crown as Mandalorian at the end of the film, and that seems to have been jettisoned now. And now, obviously, this is something that, honestly, the series was setting this up, leading us to think that Bo-Katan was actually going to replace it. And there was even some people that were involved in the production out there that had said, well, the series is called The Mandalorian. It's not necessarily called The Mando and Grogu Show. Basically implying that, yes, indeed, that's exactly what they wanted to do. They wanted to carry on with Bo-Katan's character going forward as the quote-unquote Mandalorian and not stick with Pedro Pascal's character. Yeah, how do you think that would have worked out for a series whose ratings continually to go down season after season every single time? And it seems like the next season is just worse than the last one. So, and you can draw your own conclusions for why Favreau and company would decide to do that. Well, I think we've already talked about that. They've cleaned out of the activist kind of producers and all that kind of stuff. And they know that, guess what? This new female wham and power Star Wars does not sell. By the way, how did the Acolyte do? That's right. But now it seems that like Bo-Katan will sacrifice herself, apparently in order to save the Mandalorian and Grogu. And that's a big deal. Yes, it is, because that is a major switch out there. I'd imagine the initial plans was for Mando to sacrifice himself and Bo-Katan go on out in the forward area out there. But hey, guess what? We know that doesn't sell. It does not work. And Mando is one of the most actually is probably the most popular outside of Grogu himself of any of the Disney Star Wars characters that have been created. Trust me, that's one of the few toys that actually does sell. How are the Acolyte toys selling, by the way? Have you been to a Walmart lately? Furthermore, he shared, I'm told that Luke Skywalker will appear in this film with a very young boy. Like I said, don't get your hopes up about them erasing the Disney sequel trilogy. A very, very young male actor. I'm not sure if that means infant. I'm not sure if that means toddler. I'm not sure if that even means very young child. What I can say, though, is the speculation I'm hearing based on attire is this is going to be the first time you see Luke Skywalker and Kylo Ren together chronologically. Like I said, the Disney sequel trilogy is not going anywhere, boys and girls. They're going to remind you of all of that kind of stuff out there, but they're going to try to make up for the damage they've done to the great hero character that was Luke Skywalker, because there might be some attempt to display how much Luke is a wonderful uncle and a loving towards Kylo Ren. Yeah, before you decide to make him an evil psychopath out there who literally did the exact same thing that Anakin Skywalker did, going out there and eliminating younglings. Like, literally. Like, you can't even come up with good original ideas on this one either. Like, you literally made Luke Skywalker into a villain after no one ever got to see him at his full powers as the proper Jedi hero that he's always been in so many fans' minds and throughout all of the other material outside of the movies themselves. So literally, they're trying to turn this around and show us the Luke that we'll all be happy with. But hey, guess what? That ship has sailed as far as all of the live action stuff, because we know it's just going to be more of this AI-driven kind of artificial stuff that they've been doing with all the face changing and all that kind of stuff. And don't get me wrong, it's getting better. And shout out to the guy that they hired that fixed the Luke Skywalker stuff on his own, and then of course Disney hired him, so color us shocked there. And then finally, folks, we're also hearing that we're going to get some serious Jedi powers in the film. I can tell you that I've been given a heads up on who the villain is, certainly. I'm not yet ready to bring that out. It's a pretty big scoop. It's a really big one. I don't want to be wrong, because it'll make me look really bad if we put it out there and then get that wrong. But I'm pretty comfortable on these scoops that I've got so far. He's probably also waiting to make sure everything's like completely and totally solidified down, because if he puts this out there and then they decide to change it mid-course because, hey, guess what? Scoop's out there and the fans all hate it. Then, of course, it would look like egg on Pro's face, and then a lot of people would try to use that against him to try to attack his credibility. That is a very smart decision, just to wait on this. So as far as the Jedi powers he shared, Luke and Grogu will combine their Jedi powers together. Although Grogu is not a Jedi necessarily, he's a Padawan, and they will combine their powers together in a sense to save the day. That remains seemingly true. And yes, he is a Padawan from before the collapse of the Jedi Order and Anakin going out there and taking everybody else out. From there, he declared this will be the end of the Mandalorian Grogu story arc flat out. It's over. And considering the fact that the ratings were only going in one direction, color us shocked there. They were not bringing in new viewers with every season, which is what a good show should actually do. Nothing that's been premiered on Disney Plus' streaming service has ever done that. Will they appear in the rest of the trilogy? Perhaps, but their story arc as combined duo comes to an end with this film, which is something that a lot of people have been asking for since essentially the end of season 1. No season 4, no season 5. That is wrapped up. Finally revealed Boba Fett might even show up in the movie. So yeah, to try to carry that on and maybe actually give us a proper bounty hunter story going forward, I hope they do. Because that Boba Fett show was an absolute abomination and was a disrespect not only to the character of Boba Fett himself, but to all Star Wars fans out there, and most of all the actor who literally just wants to do a good job and play Boba Fett. Like really, he even admitted the fact that people were calling him Boba Fett because of the way he looked. So he was like, I'm going to go work out. I'm going to get you buff. I'm going to show you the Boba Fett that you all want to see and love out there. And it's one of them situations. This is a lot of the kind of stuff. There's a lot of other rumors that have been going around along with this for a while. Of course, the fact that we knew that the Mando and Grogu wasn't going to get an actual 4th season. They were going to turn into a movie. So this all just lines up with what we've heard before. It also lines up with what we've talked about with Disney going out there and cleaning house. I mean, Pro is one of the ones that told us flat out that they're going in a new direction. They're trying to get back to a Luke-centered story because guess what? Luke Skywalker still sells toys. Luke Skywalker's lightsaber out there still actually sells. Nothing from anything Disney Star Wars has produced except actually selling in anywhere near the numbers to what the classic stuff and even the prequel trilogy stuff sells to. That's why you see Disney Star Wars stuff all over the place at Ollie's. That's why you see stacks and stacks of this sitting on shelves to every store you go to, where you'll see stuff that is out of stock having to do with the original trilogy series out there, but you will see all of the new Disney stuff, Star Wars, packed to the brim. This is the only direction that Disney Star Wars has a choice to go in. They're never going to erase the sequel trilogy, at least not unless something severely changes inside of leadership of the Walt Disney Company, and I don't see that happening anytime soon, which just once again leads to the fact that Disney Star Wars continued to be a dead and dying brand that will never reclaim its acclaim that it once had, because they have decided to go in this direction. They decided to go wham in power. Disney decided to turn Star Wars into a girls' brand, and it literally blew up in their face more than, of course, the Death Star did to everybody in the Empire. This has turned into a disastrous dumpster fire, and now they are doing everything they can to try to course correct in a direction that might end up at least selling them some more toys, some new additions out there. But at the end of the day, we know what has happened. Kathleen Kennedy, George Lucas to a certain degree, because he handpicked Kathleen Kennedy as successor, Dave Filoni, Bob Iger, and everybody else that has been involved in making the creative decisions and the creative directions for Disney Star Wars. This is the direction you decided to go. This is what you did to yourself. And now you're getting exactly what you deserve, because I will be very curious to see if the Mando and Grogu movie does anything at the box office. I imagine it's going to flop, just like every other Disney flop has had out there, going all the way back to their movies. At the end of the day, they did this to themselves. So whether or not these rumors are true or not, Disney Star Wars is a dead brand, and they've done it to themselves and will get exactly what they deserve. No silly little course correction like this is going to fix anything with the majority of the fans out there.